Losing work totally sucks. It's a horrible feeling to know that you lost out on something, and it's even worse when it impacts your livelihood. For normal people like you and me, we could lose work because of things like job cuts or being fired for something, but for many celebrities, they can face the same jobless fate because of their public image or scandals that they've been in. Today we're going to talk about some of those stars as we count down the top 10 celebrities Netflix won't hire part 2. At number 10, Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr had a pretty good thing going up until 2018. Prior to then, Roseanne was finding a lot of success in the Roseanne sitcom reboot on ABC and was getting ready to usher in a new season. But all of that success and hard work went out the window after the actress tweeted out an offensive tweet about Barack Obama's former senior advisor Valerie Jarrett, comparing her to an ape. As a result, Roseanne felt the wrath of Hollywood and had her show and career cancelled. Though she deleted the tweet and issued an apology for her actions, this couldn't save her career, and she's since been reportedly blacklisted from Hollywood, so networks like Netflix probably wouldn't be too jazzed about working with her. The actress tried defending her actions by claiming that she thought Valerie Jarrett was white, but that excuse didn't really go over well, and made things a little bit worse for her instead. Roseanne has also gone on to say in interviews that Hollywood shunned her because of her political beliefs. At number 9, Stacey Dash. Known for her role as Dion in the 90s film Clueless, Stacey Dash had risen to fame in the 90s, but since then she's hit rock bottom and is no longer welcome in the entertainment industry. Nowadays, the actress is known for being quite outspoken when it comes to her political views, and this is what led Hollywood to lock her out, so to speak, and she hasn't been in the acting world for quite a while. Speaking out about her take on women's rights, Black History Month, segregation, and the quote-unquote bathroom bill, the actress has proven herself to be too much for even the likes of Fox News, which she used to be a part of. With that said, she probably wouldn't be welcomed by the likes of Netflix. Stacey would often come on air of Fox News to talk about whatever issues were being discussed, but in a turn of events, Fox News let her go for having gone too far with her words, especially in reference to the abolishment of Black History Month. Some people say that her extreme beliefs are what stopped Stacey from receiving any roles, and she said that she was dropped by her agent for being too problematic. Her views on gay and trans rights, as well as her opinion on race in Hollywood, have ultimately ended her career as an actress. Now, before we continue talking about celebrities who Netflix would not want to work with, why not leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Jim Caviezel. It's not always tweets and fights that get you banned from Hollywood. The roles you play and the productions that you're part of can also take a toll on your career, and this is what happened with actor Jim Caviezel, prompting Hollywood to shut him out as a result. Coming from some minor success in the 90s, Jim's defining moment came when he played Jesus Christ in Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ film. The movie itself was a financial success, but the media tore it apart, calling it too violent and very controversial. The R-rated film caught a lot of bad press, and it was seen as anti-Semitic, and those who worked on the film had a hard time shaking that label, especially Jim. Apparently, before filming began, Mel Gibson warned Jim that he could potentially get shunned from Hollywood for this film, but he went ahead anyway, which, looking back on it now, probably wasn't the best career choice. Jim says that he has no regrets starring in the film, but he's no longer welcome in Hollywood, and as a result probably wouldn't be hired by anyone like Netflix. At number 7, Mel Gibson. Speaking of the Passion of the Christ though, Mel Gibson is someone who is notoriously hated in Hollywood for quite a number of reasons. He's no longer considered for any Hollywood roles and only seems to make an entrance into the industry when directing, since other studios don't want to work with him. He's been the subject of a number of controversies, from that of the Passion of the Christ for being anti-Semitic, to career-damaging freakouts, driving under the influence, and a number of people coming forward to discuss Mel's racist and anti-Semitic views. Though he continues to get cancelled in Hollywood, he attempts to make a return every so often, but again, only through his own work. He's been facing controversy for decades, and no one has really forgiven him, and he remains banned in Hollywood and essentially banned from all other media networks. At number 6, Ellen. After the insane year Ellen had last year, she came out of it with a pretty tarnished reputation. Because of the allegations made against her of poor workplace environment, including bullying and racial microaggressions, very few people trust or even want to work with her anymore, and I would imagine that also includes companies like Netflix. Though she did issue some apologies for some of her actions, it didn't seem to be enough, and her actions have left a bad taste. As a result of the scandal that unfolded, Ellen lost sponsors, guests, and audience members from her own show. This pretty much shows that the industry is starting to pull away from her because no one really wants to get close to her. If she was in better standings in the industry, she could have struck a deal with Netflix to keep her career afloat, but it doesn't look like that would happen. At number 5, Marilyn Manson. Singer Marilyn Manson faced a humongous scandal this year after actress Evan Rachel Wood came forward in February this year naming Manson as the person who caused her mental, physical, and emotional distress while in a relationship. She released a statement to her Instagram calling Manson out and also saying that she was, quote, brainwashed and manipulated into submission by him. In the past, Manson has faced similar accusations, but this one from Evan was the one to end his career. As a result of this, the singer was dropped by his manager and record label, and they were also called out for having enabled him the whole time this abuse was going on, and for trying to cover these scandals up in the past. Because of all this bad press and his severely tarnished reputation, I couldn't imagine anyone in Hollywood wanting to work with him. Lately, Netflix has been doing documentaries on singers and their lives, but Manson is certainly one star that they would not want to talk about. At number 4, Chris Harrison. The Bachelor/Bachelorette is one of the hottest reality shows on the planet. The show's host, Chris Harrison, has been with the show since 2002, but his time with Bachelor Nation has come to an end after a scandal that completely ended his hosting career. After old photos resurfaced of one of the Bachelor contestants at an antebellum-themed sorority party, as well as Confederate TikToks, there was a call to seek accountability from said contestant. When asked about it in an interview, Chris went on to seemingly defend this contestant when he said, quote, "We all need to have a little grace, a little understanding, a little compassion. Because I've seen some stuff online, this judge, jury, executioner thing, I haven't heard Rachel speak on this yet. Until I actually hear this woman have a chance to speak, who am I to say any of this?" End quote. People found his comments to be offensive and insensitive, saying that he was too quick to defend this contestant's actions. After all this drama, it was announced that he was leaving the show, and he's not been welcomed back. Maybe if things were different, Chris could have found a job working as a host for one of Netflix's many dating reality shows, but instead this scandal ruined his chances. At number 3, James Franco. Back in 2014, actor James Franco got into a scandal after he tried sliding into a fan's DMs, only to find out that she was actually 17 years old. This happened when James met a girl visiting New York City as an early 18th birthday present. James met her at an autograph signing outside of one of his Broadway shows. The two took pictures together and she tagged him, which obviously led to him finding her Instagram and DMing her. The two talked for a bit and the fan even asked to see his ID to make sure it was really him. After their conversation continued, James asked for her number, her age, her relationship status, and whether or not he should have booked a hotel room for the both of them. Luckily, nothing ever ended up happening between them, but the fan ended up exposing their conversation online, and James faced mild backlash. After that and some other scandals he's been in, a lot of people don't want to work with James, and that could potentially include companies like Netflix as well. At number 2, Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne is no stranger to bad press. She's been facing backlash since she was a Disney star, and really things have just escalated since then. Because she's viewed by many as a problematic celebrity, Hollywood, specifically companies like Netflix, may be hesitant to hire her for upcoming projects just because of how people view her. In the last year or so, Bella has been in the news for a number of scandals. Bella has faced backlash for her OnlyFans scam, where she scammed her fans into paying upwards of $200 for content that they weren't happy with, and it even prompted a company policy change that affected other creators on the platform. She was also involved in some Twitter beef with her ex Tana Mongeau because she released a diss track about her, and earlier this year, Bella faced even more backlash as she publicly defended Armie Hammer and the whole scandal that the actor was caught in. Bella has a way of rubbing people the wrong way, and since she's faced so much backlash just in the last year alone, I feel like Netflix might pass her over for a little while. And finally, at number 1, Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks is actually a lot more controversial than you might think. Not too long ago, she faced backlash for her time on America's Next Top Model. Old photos and episodes re-emerged, which showed the types of photos that contestants were forced to take, including ones with the models in blackface. This made people take another look at the show's past, and it dug up more dirt on the way that Tyra used to treat her contestants as well. For a long time after the show, past contestants have been outspoken about the way that they were treated on the show and how their narratives were spun to make them look more susceptible to hate. Not too long ago, one of the models from Cycle 6, Lisa D'Amato, called Tyra out for how she used her past traumas against her and how she endured verbal, mental, and physical turmoil while working with Tyra. Now that all this has come out about her past, Hollywood might be staying away from Tyra, and her latest gig of hosting Dancing with the Stars might be all she's got to hold on to now that the world knows about what she's like behind the scenes, and since no one else will work with her. Maybe she could have started another fashion-related show on Netflix, but because of her reputation, the network probably would have passed on that. Now before I wrap things up for today, I want you guys to leave a comment telling me if you would still hire any of the celebrities I mentioned today. If you were a Hollywood executive, would you take on the celebrities that Netflix won't? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, that's it for me. I've been your host, Bree Room, and until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay groovy, friends.